Alright guys, I'm headed into a different area. I've never been in here before, so we'll see how it is. It's just below the area that I call the corridor. So maybe I'll find the edge of their territory. I'm not sure. I'm just going in to find out. So this is more of a recon than an actual know right where they are type thing. So we'll see what we can find. This is interesting. Some kind of tree lean. That's not where it grew. That's been put there. That is really, really cool. But I have no idea what that means. There's another one right down there. This is kind of interesting. Now I'm wondering, maybe this is the edge of their territory. You know, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, if you'd have said, oh, you're going to be out spending your time looking for Sasquatch when you're up there building your cabin, I would have said, you're all crazy. Maybe I am crazy, but I think I'm pretty sane. Sometimes I have to pinch myself at times just to realize what all the evidence that I found for myself that is more than most. Sightings. That's kind of weird too, right there. Look how that pine's been laid across there and then weaved right there. Okay, and what is that? It's been set like that. It looks like a pretty good area for an ambush. Okay. Now, I did try out my my microphone wind reducer, and it said I needed the internet, not connected to the internet in order to get it to work. So I'm going to have to take it home and get it functioning before I come back up. But it's not too bad on this side. I think you guys can hear me pretty well. Ooh, what was that? Alright, something just took off. Right through there. Huh. This area is a new area. It's not really new. It's it's just to the side and a little bit below where I have my trail cam set up. They're spaced apart in two different locations, but this is a place this is where I heard that scream. And I just want to see if there's anything. I mean, look, there's a track. You know? It's hard to say. I mean, those are the things that make you wonder, is that what it is, or is that not what? There's another tree lean right there. See that? How it's leaned up. Right. I've got something over here. I am armed, so just so you know. Although I'm pretty sure if one wanted me, I might be able to slow one down, but the other two would have me. I don't think that's their intention, but I'll never go out without something. After that one, even with a gun, charged us. I don't know, it wasn't super close, that's for sure, but it scared the hell out of me. Anyway, I'll find something, I'll put you back on. Look at this. That almost looks like somebody was sitting there or something. Wow. I don't know. It just stands out. That's strange. I'm trying to pan slow enough where, you know, we can see out beyond where I'm looking. Maybe find something out there that I can't pick up with my eye while I'm filming. Anyway, I'll keep doing this. I'm gonna cut it off for right now. Okay. I was gonna come and hike in and get my trail cams, but I think I'm gonna leave them until Thursday, so there's a lot more on them. Wow. What is that? That's weird. I can't see any toes, but that's a big track. I mean, this is where it starts and that's where it ends. But see, the problem is you get onto this shale and you can't find a print. The only time you can find them is in soft sand, and there's not a whole lot of that. Sometimes you can find them under the trees like this, but a lot of times you can't see any kind of detail. Nothing like in the mud. I think there's so much country out here to search. I'm trying to get behind me some. I can't hear anything right now, but that doesn't mean they aren't there. That's weird. Look at this little behind me. Look at that. It looks like some kind of a, there's tracks right there, and huh, that's weird. Look at this cross behind me. I mean, look at that. 3 different kinds, and then there's another one. I'm gonna have to put, there's another one over here. Let me turn it around. Okay, I mean, look at this. There's that. There's this one in between this tree, and then there's 2 over in that tree. What's that? Alright. I found a lot of damn bones out here. A lot. I never find this many bones when I'm not in this area. This is like the hunting. I better not ever be on that menu. This one, part of that's broken. Okay, there's some more up in there. This one looks like it's a little bit older. I don't know though. I mean, I don't know. I don't see any broken femur bones. They may haul those off. I don't know. I think in some of these places it's really intense because you got super thick forest canopy, and then you all of a sudden you have a clearing. And I think they set their blinds in this kind of stuff. I don't even think they need to make a blind. It's so thick they could just stand there. But look at this. Now these are what are weird to me. Look at this, okay? This is another one of these tree things. And that's not normal. That hasn't been just placed, or hasn't just fallen there. I mean, I don't know what to think about that. Maybe it's a map of their area. Look how it's been shoved up in there, right there, and that's been pushed up. And you know, people seeing this for the first time probably thinking, oh, he did it. He put those tree branches in there or whatever. I didn't. I did not put anything in there. And who would think of putting them on there like that anyway? And you got another lane here that's, and see right in there, that looks like the ideal. Look how these have been placed. Look at this. Look at that. See, now I'm starting to get that feeling again, which I don't like at all. See, something's been sitting down there too. I mean, some of these, that's not a deer bed. That's been scratched up and sat down on. Or an elk. Okay. All right, those map type totem poles are just so weird to me. I mean, most people don't have these kind of things. They have like aspens that they have a bunch of logs, and I have an area up above where the aspens are like that. But if I was out here by myself and I was trying to live off the land, and I was big and had the strength they do, I wouldn't live in the aspen unless there was a lot of fir mixed in and ground and high underbrush. I'd live in something like this. With as much game as there is here, you'd never go hungry. Anyway, I'm going to turn it off for a minute, and then I'll turn it back on. You hear it? Listen. I may not have got that on. Listen. It sounded like a tree knock. Wow. All right. I don't know what that was. I couldn't see it. I just heard it. I mean, it could have been. But I've been talking the whole time. I doubt that would have been a deer or an elk. But it may have been. I really doubt it, honestly. But they would have known I was coming too. That's what's weird. See, look at this. This is where they were. or where I think they were. Listen. Listen. See. First of all, deer and elk don't make that much noise. It's almost like it was making noise on purpose. But I can't tell you 100% that was not an elk or a deer. I don't know. I didn't see it. I heard it though. And hopefully I got some of it on here. There's another tree that's been stuffed inside that. I think I'm right on the edge of that, what they call the corridor. What I do, I don't know what it's called. Look at those tracks. Their area. I mean, this right here is probably sitting at about 7,500 feet. I'm about 500 feet lower than I was. But it's still dipping into the 30s here at night. So, and that freaked me out. I didn't wear my orange shirt today. I've got a bunch of orange shirts, just so you know. I'm not wearing the same shirt every single time. I was just hoping they could get used to it. But I didn't have any intention of coming out here to film today. And this crap got the best of me. I'll turn it back on in a minute. Okay. I don't know what that was, but it may have been an elk. It wasn't a deer, that's for sure. It was way too loud. But I really don't think it was an elk either. It was too close to me, and I've been talking the whole time. But I'm trying to record behind me. I know I've told some people that I've got a camera on my backpack, but I didn't bring my backpack today. I didn't plan hiking this far in. And of course, there's some crazy stuff in here, but I am armed, which is good, but it's covered, so they can't see it. Some people ask, why is the name of your channel Desert Sasquatch? Well, we're not technically in a desert, that's for sure. It's a high desert, which is basically means pinyon and juniper, or if you're in Alaska, tundra. But it's as high here as it is on most mountains at aspen and fir level. Where I find the fir and aspen here is at about 9,000, about 8,800 feet. I haven't done an extensive trek into that area, only because I haven't needed to yet. I don't think they're there yet. There's not near the cover up there in those aspen as there is here. These things could be 10 feet from me, just like that last thing. And I don't know. I can't tell you for sure that's what that was, because I don't know. I didn't see it. I wished I would have, but I didn't. It didn't sound like it was running on all fours, but when your heart's pumping 1,000,000 miles an hour, you can't tell anyway. Or at least this time I couldn't. Usually you can, well, if you see them, you know for sure. But anyway, so I'm just clearing that up as far as It's not really a desert, that's for sure, but it's a high desert. Most people, like in Colorado and Utah, up in the high mountains in the Rockies, it's aspen and fir, maybe a ponderosa pine or two. But here, I mean, it's a completely different ecosystem. I've never been anywhere that's similar to it. I've been to high deserts up in the Uintas, which is in the up in the Rockies, and they don't sustain game the way this does. There's so many springs that they have I'll bet every mile there's a spring that they can get water. So anyway, I'm just rambling, so I'll let it go. See, look at these sticks, how they're just kind of lined up down here around the base. I mean, it could just be natural, but I don't think so. Look at that. It's kind of strange. I don't see the importance of that. I don't know what that even means. I mean, somebody brought up that maybe it's the young ones playing around, and it could be. I mean, all of it could be that, but I honestly think some of the bigger totem pole things are a map of some kind. In this particular area, they don't need to build huge structures because they can go anywhere and find cover. I mean, the canopy's so thick, and with all the underbrush and everything else, they wouldn't even need. See, now look at this one. There's no little sticks around it. See? Same kind of thing, but just 0 sticks. So it makes me wonder. Anyway, I'll put it back on a bit. And that over there looks like it's been torn down, but that could be, I don't know. These little areas like that are deep, have deep cover. You know what I mean? A lot of different things. Anyway. Okay. Something's out here. Should just be running, but I don't know what it is. It sounded like a drum. I'm just gonna leave it on because every time I turn it off, something happens. I haven't heard anything else. That was really strange. See, like that. And that looks, it's just weird branches broken on the ground, and I mean, a lot of, almost looks like, it's just a weird, I can tell it's on the lower because the further down you go, the less activity. The further up you go, the more. It's almost like a line, territorial boundary line. I just don't want to be in their territory at the wrong time. I'm just going to film that way. I know some of this stuff gets monotonous watching through, wading through things where there's nothing there, but trees and nothing exciting. It's kind of strange too, all those leaves just put together right here, and then there's that big old thing. Although it doesn't look like anything's been interwoven. Like that totem pole. Not either. So I think we're too low. Okay. I'll click it back on as soon as I find something. I really want to know what that drum type noise was. That was really quite strange. Look at that thing. I mean, that could just, there's nothing really woven in that, so. Start to get thick up in there again. I think that's where that sound was. Ooh. Back over there a little while ago, I was getting really nervous. Still want to know what that noise was. Yeah, because I can hear something. I mean, I would love to figure out what these little maps, tree maps, or tree totems mean. There's just a lot. I mean, that one's tipped up into that bush. These are things you just don't see often. I've been out here 1,000 times, and in other parts, you don't see that ever. And if you do, it makes sense by looking at the tree next to it, that it had fallen or... Anyway, I'll cut you back in a minute. You can hear something back there. It doesn't sound really big though. I mean, it could be a mountain lion. You know, after going through a lot of this stuff, a dang mountain lion doesn't even scare me anymore compared to the other things that are out here. It's just a kitty. Although, if they wanted to, they could kill you too, so anyway.